Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our live stream of our tarot session for today, September 27th, 2024. It's a beautiful day and a wonderful evening. Let's give a shout out to the chat. Lisa, good to see you. Mark, much love. Valerie, good to see you, and sending prayers your way. I hope you're okay in NC. Holler Haint, much love. The Coastmas, much love. Geo, great to see you. Isaac, much love. Great to see you. I cannot pronounce Zero Ermission Mez. Hail Shaitan. NA, good to see you. Taz, much love. Okari, much love. Kit Kat, much love. Pamela, it's great to see you. Steve McQueen, great to see you. Thank you guys for joining. This is beautiful. It's amazing to see you all here, bright and early. So let's start by giving a talk about our astrology. So we're still in this moon in Leo energy. And the moon in Leo is such intense energy. I've been feeling it today. It brings out that passion. It brings out that intensity. It brings out that ferocity. And in many ways, this is beautiful, playful energy, right? It really tries to engage in community, but we're sensitive. And we are open and laid bare in many ways. And so this is a time when it's easy to engage in conflict, and we have to be aware. And we need to learn to balance that moon in Leo energy with this sun in Libra. The sun in Libra is that great pursuer of balance, the one who moves in communicative flow with everyone around her, who strives for that beauty and refinement. With this energy taken to balance out that moon in Leo, we should be able to move in beautiful harmony. Really pursue it, really stick to it, and you'll see. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the title here. And when I was meditating this morning, I drew my cards and I pulled the Hermit. And when I was thinking about this Hermit card, this is a really big, powerful energy. And it even came up later as a center card in a private reading I did this morning. So it's been such an intense energy all today, this Hermit. And recognize that the Hermit energy is this energy of learning to reflect upon the self, of doing that hard work, of going into the chamber, right? Of entering into that darkness, right? Of isolating ourselves and doing that deep reflective work. Right? Really going to the heart of any of our problems. Really learning to see things from multiple perspectives, and understand that one of the biggest and most important keys to the entire tradition, the entire muse, magical, poetical tradition, is knowing the self. Know thyself was what was written on the walls of Eleusis. Anyone who has read the PGM will tell you that almost every one of these spells will have some iteration or variation of that phrase embedded within the magical arrangement. Because the purpose of the magical process is to understand and know the self, right? And also recognize, too, the Hermit is not alone in this energy. Oftentimes, we think the Hermit is entirely alone, and there's a part of it that must be done alone. You must go into the chamber, but at the same time, there's that great reflector in the sky, the great mother, the moon. And the moon is that ultimate energy of reflection, who bends the light and allows us to peer within, who allows us to see to the roots of ourselves. Go out under the stars as well. Once you have gone into the cave and you've done the critical work, exit the cave and stand under the stars. You're still in that deep reflective mode, but now you're in part 2, that engagement with that Artemis, that engagement with the divine unconscious, that which you may have not even been able to find in your chamber. Sometimes we need to externalize and see ourselves reflected upon the stars to truly understand, Let's now go to our Ganapati Oracle. Well, actually, I want to read for you guys a poem, sorry. I'm going to read for you guys 2 poems that I was thinking about today. One poem about the muse, and recognize that the muse is. There are many levels of this energy, and each of us has an aspect, has that muse that we must learn to hear in ourselves. The first poem I'm going to read is by John Collins Squire. It's called A Poet to His Muse. Muse, you have opened like a flower. Long ago I knew that brown Anteguma, like a dead husk, had dormant life within it, and waited till a first white point appeared, which shot into a naked, stiff, pale spike that grew. I knew this was not all. Nothing I said as greener you grew and taller, but dreamed alone of the day when your bud would unsheathe and silently swell, and at last your crown would break, filling the air with clouds of color and fragrance, radiant waves, odors of immortality. And a pot of earth I watered and tendered you, breaking the clods and soaking the earth with water that fed your roots and eased your way to the light. I gave you the sun and the rain, but saved you from the scorching and drowning. You are mine, and only I know you and the ways of your growth in the days. But you are not from me. I am but a pen for a hand, a bed for a river, a window for light, and I bow in awe to that power that made you a flower. We see the three levels of reflection upon creation. We see three levels of engagement with the muse, right? Recognize too what is happening here. The muse is a child that must be nurtured, a lover that must be respected and known, right? Someone that must be engaged with. This is a relationship, right? You learn to love yourself and commune with yourself in harmony. The second poem I wanted to read for you is called A Song to the Moon by Sir John Carr. Thou lamp the gods benignly gave to light a lover on his way. Thou moon, along the silvery wave, safe this fluttering heart convey. Sweet is thy light and sweet thy shade, the guide and guardian of our bliss. A lover's panting lips to lead or veil him in the ravished kiss. Her white robes float upon the air. My lyra hears the dashing of her oars, yet floods, oh, speed me to my fair. My soul is with her long before. Oh, lightly haste, thy lover view, and ever anxious fear resign. Yet towers no longer feared, adieu. The treasure which he held is mine. Drawing down that moon, building that tower, connecting the universe to the self. That which is above is the same as that which is below. See yourself reflected in the nature, and the moon is the greatest mirror of all. Beautiful. All right. We're now going to go to our Ganapati Oracle. So Ganapati Ganesha is that divine child, the Lord of beginnings, the guardian of the threshold, and the master of spirits, the Ganas. And we ask them to inspire us this evening to begin our sortes and to send us a message from the muses and inspire us. So, Lord Ganapati, what is the message? Priorities. Priorities. Beautiful, magical energy that we've seen several times here before. And such important energy, that energy of focus and of an understanding, of learning to prioritize and to put into correct order. So much about learning to walk the path is learning to move with disciplined action, learning to take responsibility, to plan and organize yourself. You know, this is something a lot of people struggle with. And as a Virgo, I constantly am like seeded into it because that organization is the key. The point of the magic in many ways is to organize your thoughts, to give voice to dreams, to call your dreams into reality, right? To engage with the body in a way where that imagined idea becomes intrinsic, becomes embodied in the self and projected into the unconscious universe. right? You really want to be in that flow. You really want to make sure that you are prioritizing what is correct, that you are utilizing the dote and the antidote, right? Reason and balance. Beautiful lesson for this Sun and Libra energy, right? All right. We're now going to go to our sortes proper. And today we are going to begin with the Psychic Bible by Genesis Peorage and the Temple of Psychic Youth. For those of you unaware, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy that comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition. And with this, we invoke the goddesses of inspiration, the divine muses, and we ask them to send a message through the text and inspire us. So muses, what is the message from the Temple of Psychic Youth? Inspire us this evening. What we felt had happened was that she felt that she was the goddess, not a channel or a symbol of the goddess, but I'm dealing with the power and I am that power. What we felt had happened was that she felt that she was the goddess, not a channel or a symbol of the goddess. I am dealing with power. I am power. Recognize, right, that ability to become enthused, possessed, inspired. What do these words truly mean? To be embodied with that image, that ideal of that divinity. To become empowered by the goddess is to invoke her into the self and to let her take control. And this in many ways sounds scary to those of us bound in ego and confusing. But recognize you are already that great mother. You're already connected to all of these things. In reality, you are nothing but a perceiver. The self is an illusion. It is a series of masks that are worn. And you can don hers if you so choose. All right. Muses. Let us now go to the Book of Thought by Aleister Crowley. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Aleister Crowley in the Book of Thought? Inspire us. Similarly, of a serpent they would call his power of death fiery, his swiftness airy, his undulatory motion watery, and his habit of life earthly. This is beautiful. The serpent is the infinity, the Ouroboros, the divine intersect being that gives birth unto itself, right? It is the totality of all. And so it contains within it all of the elements as seen through how Crowley described, right? The power of his venom is death. His swiftness is air, his motion, water, and his habit, the way he goes about life, is the earth. Beautiful. Let us continue. We're now going to go to my dear friend Graham's book, My Neighbor Wants to Kill Me. All right, muses, what is the message from Graham? Inspire us. I'm watching a horror movie with my mom. The volume is pretty loud. She's a bit deaf. This is an interesting image. I'm watching a horror movie with my mom and the volume is very loud. The engaging of a horror movie, the engaging of that image projected upon the screen, something that is nightmarish, that invokes terror. This is very deeply reminiscent of tragedy and the purpose of tragedy, the engagement with the ugly and the fearful so that we can overcome it through communal catharsis, right? Communal catharsis. But also recognizing this message from Graham that if we engage too much in that abyss, if we crank the volume up too high, we make ourselves go deaf. We can see nothing but the horror on the screen, and we are blinded to the universe around us. We do need to engage in the imaginal, right? In those created images so that we can confront and overcome them. But if we are bound in the imaginal, then we cannot persist in reality. We are deaf. We cannot hear the muse. Wow. Let us continue. We are now going to go to Gurdjieff, Beelzebub's tales to his grandson. Muses, what is the message from the great Gurdjieff? Inspire us. But on the contrary, under the action of this kind of consonance, with the total absence of remorse, and even with the impulse of satisfaction, intentionally they maintain themselves, the flowing of those associations of all their spiritualized parts, which arise in their common presence, under the influence of that fractalized data crystallized in them from the consequences of the properties of the, for them, accursed organ. Then you, I am sure, after such a practical demonstration on this piano, will not only have an approximate representation concerning all what are called, some obtained from the other, and harmoniously flowing gravity center vibrations, but likewise you will constate once more with the impulse of astonishment to what an extent there is weakened in the common presences of these favorites of yours, the essence of action of those being data, which in general are proper to be crystallized in the presences of all the three-brained beings, and the totality of which is called the quickness of instinct. Man, Gurdjieff, that was one sentence. Holy. Okay. But on the contrary, under the action of this kind of consonance, with the total absence of remorse and even the impulse of satisfaction, intentionally they maintain themselves in the flowing of these associations. What is that about? By engaging in this kind of negative vibration, right? You become bound up into that sonic frequency. You become taken. You know, this really reminds me in many ways about how images, how songs, how any of this kind of art can shape and transform the mind, right? And this is about learning to recognize that we, three-brained beings, as Gurdjieff likes to call us, we are susceptible to that outside force of manipulation because we are that perceiver, right? And we draw down these datas from that fractalized reality. Ooh, that got so deep. I hope that made sense to some of you. Man, Gurdjieff. Oof. Let us continue. All right. 3 Tragedies. All right. By Federico Garcia Lorca. Federico Lorca, I just want to pause, okay? Not a lot of people know him in the West, but Bloodwedding is a must read. And this is a portal. Lorca was assassinated by the fascists in Spain. One of the greatest dragons ever, and someone worthy of admiration. All right, muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Lorca? Inspire us. Don't you tremble when he comes near you? Don't you feel something like a dream when he brings his lips close to yours? Tell me, which is it? Oof. Now this is a terrifying image. This is a terrifying image. Don't you tremble when he comes near you? Don't you feel something like a dream when he brings his lips close to yours? Tell me, which is it? If you're trembling in fear in the presence of a lover, are they a lover? And shouldn't the lover connect you to that dream? Lorca's telling us how to recognize, right? Hmm. I also want to read one other line. It says, the first woman goes, "No, I've never noticed it." The second woman says, "Never? Not even when you danced?" And then she struggles. "Perhaps, maybe, one time with someone else. Perhaps, maybe, sometimes with someone else." This is a deep, painful message for many of us. Are you with the partner that you should be? Are you in love and flow? Are they of that dream? Do they make you tremble? All right, let's continue. When you dance, does it make you smile? Right? If you are questioning this, something is not right. Chapman's Homer, the Iliad, and the Odyssey. Muses guide my hand. What is the message from Homer? Inspire us. Much greater is my grief for hearing this high praise of his. Ooh. Jealousy. Jealousy. Jealousy is greed by another name. Jealousy is greed by another name. And greed is the greatest of sins within the Hellenic tradition. It binds you. It turns you into the tyrant. You must go through the cycles and learn to let go. Be like Artemis and make the tools that you need, right? Flow in that harmony, like Rhea, who is that river. The greedy are like Saturn, who eventually consume their children in order to maintain what they have built, only to be destroyed, desecrated, otherized, and vilified, stricken from the record and caught and cast into the darkness of Erebus. That's what happens to the greedy. All right, let's continue. We're now going to go to Michael Bertio, Monastery of the Seven Rays. Muses guide my hand. What is the message from Michael Bertio? Inspire us. We certainly do not pretend to be the only persons to know of this hieroglyphic city. But among those who do know of its reality, we are the most agreeable to tell of the methods of its exploration. For in this city, you will find all of the students of history with whom you will soon be establishing magical contact through meditation. The divine city. This is a really powerful image. Rome, Babylon, that great mother. We can connect to that city, that image of the primordial city, that greater community that persists. And that is what Bertio is revealing here. Similar to those ideas of the Akashic records and inspiration and inspiring knowledge. All right. We're now going to go to An Independent People by Loch Ness. Muses, what is the message from Loch Ness? Inspire us. Grim on guard where mountains loam, palely through their hazy shroud, there rears a rock in frowning gloom, black and sullen, scowling, proud. Now lovely blossom in its lee seeks that gloom to dissipate. Its flowers fled, accursed be the Norns that rule its fate. Wow, this is some dark imagery here. Grim on the guard where mountains loom palely through their hazy shroud. There rears a rock in frowning gloom, black and sullen, scowling proud. Saturn, the Omphalos, that blackened stone, the great mother, intense energy, right? No lovely blossom in its leaves seeks that gloom to dissipate. There is no life that blossoms around that black stone. Its flower is fled. Accursed be. The Norns rule its fate. The Norns are the equivalent of the Morai, intense energy, Hecate energy. Again, Saturn in Erebus. All right, let us continue. We're going to go now to Lord Byron. All right. Muses, what is the message from Byron? Inspire us. He left the room for his relinquished sword, and Julia instant to the closet flew. Fly, Juan, fly, for heaven's sake, not a word. The door is open. You may yet slip through the passage you so often have explored. Here is the garden key. Fly, fly, adieu. Haste, haste. I hear Alfonso's hurrying feet. Day has not broke. There is no one in the street. This is beautiful. He left the room for his relinquished sword, right? He's engaged in that chamber of that great mother, right? Of that goddess energy, right? And he had to relinquish his sword. And as soon as he goes to leave, that divine feminine presence tells him that he must fly for heaven's sake and speak not a word. And the door is open and you may pass through somewhere you have often explored but didn't know. Here is the key to the garden. Make haste and fly. Right? In silence, you enter the garden and make your escape. Beautiful. All right. We're going to do one final sortes. We're going to go to 10 Plays by Euripides. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Euripides? Inspire us. Speak I will, and first the thing I heard from Electra. You have heard of the strife between Atreus and Thyestes. This is intense. I'm going to read actually the above line by Iphigenia as well. It says, no, it is you who must speak, and I who must judge. This is really interesting to have that silence here at this moment, just before we receive this message from Iphigenia. Iphigenia is the daughter of Agamemnon, right? The chosen of Artemis. She is saved from her father's wrath, from the sacrifice, and teleported to Taurus, where she becomes the divine priestess of Artemis herself. Right? It is you who must speak and I must judge. And then Orestes, her brother, responds, speak I will, and the first thing I heard from Electra, you have heard of the strife between Atreus and Thyestes. And what does Iphigenia say? What did Atreus fight over with Thyestes? I have. They quarreled about a golden lamb. They quarreled about a golden lamb. For those of you with ears to hear, this is a very stark and scary conversation that is ongoing here. Okay? They're quarreling over that beautiful youth. that child, that virgin, right? The one who can sing the song. Scary stuff, my friends. All right. That is our sortes. And we are now going to jump to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a huge difference. It boosts everything in the algorithm, and I would really appreciate it. And if you are at all interested in a private reading, you can reach out to me, snappydts@gmail.com, or you can find me on the Myth and Lore Discord, Snappy or Lady Snappy. All right. The Thoth Tarot deck of Aleister Crowley and Lady Frida Harris. And we are going to invoke the spirit, the god Saturn, and ask them to dissect our life, to cut it up and put it upon the plate, to show us our interconnections. And we ask, how do we rise above this moment? How do we move beyond the fray? How do we learn to flow in harmony? How do we manifest our true will? And what is the greater message for our community? And as always, that center card is the most important. Okay. And today's center is that luxury. Luxury. This is beautiful energy. Recognize that you are in a powerful, profound moment. That you have core relationships here. People in your life that are fundamental, that will always be in that reciprocal flow with you. People who love and care for you. This is recognizing our foundation, recognizing these loving connections in their life and seeing them for the beauty that they are in this reciprocal flow, that they are mutually helping us. This is that love that doesn't break or go away, right? This is the love of the child for the parent or the mother for the child. Foundational energy. The reason why it is luxury is that it is easy to be in this energy and to not move beyond it, right? It is easy to be in this energy and to be fine. You know, we are not fully fulfilled here. We are emotionally sated, but we are not fulfilled. We must learn to move beyond the luxury, to seek out loving connection outside of these core relationships that are greater, that move beyond them, right? And that is the message here. Yeah. Recognize your power in this situation. Dominion. The Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is all about that power, right? It's all about that force. And recognizing that the power is in your hands. The two is that exponential growth. It expands. 4, 6, 8, 10 to that completion energy, right? But this energy has the power to go in two different directions. It can attract or it can repel. It can be a force of love or violence. The power, the wand is in your hand. Where are you directing this energy? What are you using it for? What we're supposed to do is connect to that divine feminine, that moon, that great reflective energy, right? Incredible. And this is about learning to really go into that reflective energy, to use our force and our passion to draw down that moon, to engage that unconsciousness, and to understand ourselves and to see how to move beyond this, right? How to grow and expand. Wow. This is beautiful. Who's connected at the top of our square to that Four of Cups, that luxury? The Queen of Wands, that inspiring feminine energy, that fiery feminine energy, that energy of the one who pursues beauty, who inspires others, that artistic creatrix, right? Powerful, powerful energy, Beyonce energy, you know, Taylor Swift type energy. Right? Those truly transformative artists who just seem to attract that love, that sway people's minds, right? When we can move and connect with her, when we can expand beyond that luxury, the wealth will follow. the building of that tower, the completion. We are going to engage with this person in that building connection. You know, we are going to work together to manifest that tower. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You got to pursue that muse, that inspiring energy. The change. In order to connect to that muse, in order to build that tower of wealth in that harmony together, you're going to have to learn to move. You're going to have to adapt and change your physical reality. Move in flow. Change is coming. And we are being called to be an island upon the waters, to adapt and flow, right? To recognize that change is coming and that we need to rise above, to adapt to it and make the right corrections so that we can sustain ourselves. And if we can change, if we can move, pursue, we can engage with this. We can manifest that 10. Wow. Beautiful energy. Let's continue. Wow. Wow. The 4 of Wands, completion. This is signaling you found what you were looking for. That fiery passion, that pursuit, what you are engaged in, what you're trying to connect to is right there. Is right there. You just have to pursue it with that fiery passion and move beyond the limitations, move beyond your comfort zone. Expand and push yourself into that passion. Find that muse. Let's continue. Beautiful. As this cycle comes to a close, what do we do here? What do we see here? We see us showing up as that energy of the builder, as that responsible, outgoing energy, right? That one who takes responsibility and builds into the future in the earth. The knight protects the princesses. He provides, he engages with the queen. Balanced energy, mature energy that can truly connect in loving flow, right? We need to embody this energy and complete that cycle so that we can meet her where she needs us to be, so that we can together manifest that wealth. Now this I love to see. You wished for her. You wished for this. This is the coming of the muse into your life. Recognize, you drew down the stars. You imagined this connection, and this connection is coming to fruition in the present. The cycle is completed. Your passions are realized. You must meet her where she's at and embody that responsible, mature energy that goes out into the world, that pursues, that has the strength to build upon that luxury, to pursue that muse, to adapt to the change, right? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, I'm going to flip my camera so you guys can see the full square. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really does make a difference. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, please reach out, snappyddts@gmail.com, or find me on the Myth and Lore Discord. All right, here we go. Here is our full Saturn square. Okay. We start here. The key to manifesting this wealth is to recognize our power, recognize our passion and our ability. If you can be that mature, responsible builder, if you can pursue what inspires you, you will manifest this wealth. The wealth is coming, right? You will engage with her and build this together. You will adapt to that change, right? But you must take that responsibility and be that outgoing knight, the one who builds and pursues and moves. You must take that passionate energy and put it into action, right? Towards that building of the tower. towards connecting with her, to overcome that luxury. Let us now look at the center here, right? The cycle is completed. We have found that muse, that inspiring feminine energy that we must connect to. And the key to connecting to her is overcoming this luxury and moving outside of our comfort zone. Building upon what we have and having the strength and the audacity to take that leap, to move in change, to pursue her, right? To direct this energy in love and connection. Let's go here. Wow, this is so intense. That wish fulfilling energy, that drawing down of the star, the Aquarius, right? We wanted this. We've called this energy into our lives. We've drawn down that muse. But the key to fully understanding and realizing this is also connecting to that feminine, to that great reflective energy of the moon, right? Understanding this energy and adapting to the change, right? In this moment, it's about engaging with that feminine, right? That energy of Aphrodite, Comatheo, the star, Venus, that energy of that moon, Artemis, Helene, Hecate, right? When we can connect and embody that feminine energy, we can truly change. We can truly become that mature, balanced person that can overcome the luxury and connect to her in balanced harmony and manifest that wealth, right? Build that tower together. Beautiful. All right, let's now take a look at our cross here. Yeah, again, you have to move, expand from outside of your comfort zone, build upon that foundation and pursue love. Be that one who builds, be that one who moves, who can adapt, who can really overcome that change. What are we wishing for? We are wishing to grow beyond our limitations, and we are wishing to create that security, to materialize this loving foundation, right? To be in that harmony, to be in that co-creation. This is what we were materializing through that engagement of that great mother energy, that Aphrodite, Comatho, that Urania. Wow. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So this is what it's about. Recognize what you're doing. You want to manifest this power foundation, to build a business, to build a home, to build something meaningful. You want to do that with that inspiring muse. You have the power. You must recognize, and you must take responsibility and be the one to build and pursue that. Recognize that you have found the muse and that the cycle is completed. That wish is fulfilled. And now you must adapt, reflect, move and change, and come into connection with her so that together these two energies can build that tower, right? This tower cannot be built entirely alone, even though you have that fiery energy of dominion. That dominion is set ablaze by her inspiration, right? Beautiful. You change in order to connect to her, right? You overcome the luxury to connect to her, right? To build the tower, you have to be in connection with her. And so this is the energy. Pursue that muse. Build in the present. Overcome your limitations. Be in flow and adapt to change. And draw down that moon and reflect upon your current present situation. That is the tarot reading. I hope it resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. All right, we're going to do one final sortes, and then we're going to call it an evening. For our final sortes, I'm going to go to Gabriel Macari's Ore. All right. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Gabriel Macari in Ore? Scry inward. The higher the impulse, the stronger the will to commune with the projected forms of thyself. There you have it. There you bloody have it. What a final message. and we drew that divine hermit. We all need this moment. Reflect, scry inward, seek the higher impulse, the stronger will to commune with the projected forms of thyself. The holy guardian angel, the higher genius, the muse. All right, everyone, peace and love. Thank you so much for joining me for our live tarot session. And I hope I will see you over at Lady Babylon for Dr. Ammon's presentation. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you again tomorrow evening. Peace and love.